Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, we talk turning off my autofocus, we talk about relationships, game, everything in between. Today I'm going to talk about apologizing, and I'm going to talk about the word sorry, okay? Economics. When you say something too much, it loses its meaning. When you apologize too much, you become a weak man. And you start to turn off the women around you and turn off the woman you are with. And you embarrass the men you are with. Or you are preyed upon because you are displaying a clear showcase of weakness. There's nothing wrong with saying sorry. To be stubborn and to not accept ownership over where you've gone wrong, or can accept where you've gone wrong, to not have accountability, is not a masculine trait. To be masculine is to accept your faults and move onwards. To say, that was me, I've learnt from my mistake, and now I've learnt from my mistake I can move onwards. And what once was a big issue is now nothing but an admittance of the time that has passed. Unless you have caused real damage and created real problems, you nullify any attack on you when you clearly apologize and take acceptance in an honest manner of who you were and what you've done and where you've been and where you've come. Somebody who apologizes profusely, consistently, clearly has used this as a means of nullifying conflict throughout their life. If your partner or somebody comes to you in an emotional state, in a reactive state to something you've done, and you can see clearly that they've been touched by something you may have done, you don't need to apologize if you do not believe it's anything to do with you. You do not have to apologize if you feel you have done nothing wrong. You do not have to apologize if you still stand by the action you initially took to create this reaction. Although saying sorry at that particular moment in time may rid yourself of some of the problem, if you're dealing with a woman, it won't mean a thing. It'll just set it in deeper, it'll just let it simmer deeper. But let's say it did. Then that woman is going to see through your apology, understand that you don't mean it, and she's going to consider you weak, a liar, and the contrary to the masculinity she wishes to see in you. The economical basis is that when you do genuinely apologize and say, I am sorry, I take ownership, and I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have said that. All right, can you please accept it, because it's killed me to see how much that hurt you. When you speak in honesty about your actions and you own up for who you've been, and you speak direct from the heart, that solves the issue. Because economically speaking, the scarcity of those apologies create an impact which is irreplaceable. Because you're a man and you're not a liar, especially to those you love. You don't lie to them. You're an honest man, and if it doesn't need to be said, you don't say it, right? You can't go apologizing for everything. You can't apologize for that which you don't believe you should be apologizing for, because people will understand where you're coming from. People will look at you and know you're saying it just to say it. And maybe not the first time, but if it becomes a part of your repertoire and you apologize 10 times over the span of a year when you shouldn't be, there's such an abundance of you just making these apologies, they're going to be rendered cheap. Nothing but fluff in order for you to manipulate me into forgiving you for what you've done. So you have to be honest, and when you feel like you should apologize, personally, I think you should. There's a lot of people on here who will say, don't ever apologize, and blah, 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 blah. Bro, a man who never apologizes, a man who can never see the error of his ways, a man who can not love someone to the degree where he does, take his shield down and say, here I am. A man who can't be vulnerable, that's a weak man. There's two sides of this spectrum. The most stubborn man in the world is weak. And the most apologetic man is weak. You need to stand 1/3 down the line of this spectrum. You see, we've got never apologizing, and we've got apologizing too much. You want to be here. You want to have to apologize when it makes sense, because it's a powerful tool and it's honest. And it shows masculine growth above and beyond never apologizing, because then you're just stone cold, cold-hearted, and there's just no love there. And then the other side, you're just weak, you're a pushover, you're spineless, and nobody respects the spineless man, unfortunately. This all derives from where we come up. You might have had a very stubborn father and taken his ways. Or you might have, unfortunately, had an absence of a father and felt the need to... That's a story for another time. But I hope that was some game. That's the truth. Let it be told. Shall we continue? So, we had a conversation. We said, in person, in real life, had a conversation. Said, what do you do when your missus is having a go at you for nothing? Or what you perceive as nothing? To her it means something. You know, each to their own. To you, you don't perceive it as making much sense. The guy says, I'll just say sorry, I'll just apologise, just to avoid the headache. And someone agreed with him. That's the right way to do it. And then a woman joined the conversation, and I say, what would you do if your partner just apologised when blah, blah, blah? And she goes, I'd think you fucking pussy. Pardon my language. So this is why we look at the woman's perspective and hear from the woman. That's where the game is. The game isn't with the men, because the men don't know. None of these men have got game. They just project their own feelings and opinions and perspectives and wants and needs upon everybody else. Listen to the woman, because she's got a different brain and she's got a different way of communicating, and she has no reason not to be honest with you about stuff like that. Just talk to the women about it. Don't be perceived as a little pussycat, yeah? But be real. Be a man, be a gentleman, and own up for your mistakes. You'll be 1 in a million. On that note, I'm signing out. That's some game. Click like and subscribe. And whilst you're there, 2 links in the description of the video. One will take you through to the catalogue of body language. 220 videos on YouTube I've compiled of my own material, which will teach you how to read people. Most definitely. Second to that is the Patreon, where you will join me in watching real life dates. I'll show you the attraction cues, the repulsion cues. You'll take that into the real world. You will see them cues manifest and you'll become Casanova. Alright? I'm signing out. Peace.